Tonight on KVR News, controversy surrounding the Callaway House. We talked to workers who say they weren't paid.
Who will be Miss America?
Fallout from that announcement, why some viewers are not pleased with the winner.
And the Longhorns face up against Ole Miss, a recap of Saturday's game.
You're watching KVR News, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening. You're watching KVR News for Monday, September 16th. I'm Leslie Adami.
And I'm Cassandra. Thank you for joining us tonight.
We're following developing news out of Washington, D.C. 12 civilians are confirmed dead this evening and 14 people wounded after a gunman opened fire at the Washington Navy Yard. 34-year-old Aaron Alexis from Fort Worth was killed after exchanging gunfire with officers. There's no information on a motive at this time. Alexis served in the U.S. Navy for nearly 4 years until January 2011, when he was discharged, according to a Navy spokeswoman. Washington Mayor Vincent Gray said, "We don't have any reason at this stage to suspect terrorism, but certainly it has not been ruled out."
Controversial balloon attacks in West Campus are raising questions about race relations at UT. The first reported attack happened this year to Brian Davis before school started. With the second attack coming just 2 weeks later, students are expressing concern that the authorities are not doing enough to stop the attacks. Eduardo Belacazar was walking home with two other minority students when a balloon was thrown at him by 26 West. Even though his balloon was not filled with bleach, he feels he was attacked based on his race.
They know people are going to perceive it as a racist act, regardless of if they had bleach in it or not. And it made me feel like this is the first time in my life that I've actually felt like a minority.
Minority students who have been affected by these balloon attacks feel as though they were targeted for their race, but students of Caucasian ethnicity have had similar experiences in alleys just like this. Lauren Paluga is a UT student who says she was walking by University Towers when a cup filled with beer was thrown from a balcony. She thinks there is no excuse for anyone to go through these unpleasant experiences and that these actions need to face larger penalties from authorities.
That can be a broken nose, it could be a nice bruise. I mean, it's actually a safety hazard, and I feel like when we just kind of laugh about it, don't tell anybody, or just kind of say, don't do that again, it really doesn't help the problems.
UTPD was unavailable for an interview but released a statement saying, quote, "Throwing and hitting another person with any object could result in a charge of assault. If you believe you are a victim of assault or any other crime, UTPD urges you to please report the incident by calling 311 if the incident previously occurred off campus, 512-471-4441 if occurred on campus, or 911 if students are in immediate danger anywhere." Cassandra Jaramillo, KVR News. The Black Student Alliance organized a rally on campus last week to discuss campus climate in response to the balloon attacks. UT students and faculty attended the rally, and now the BSA is working on a letter-writing campaign to get more attention from UT officials. The goal is to ensure that all students feel welcome on campus.
We have a lot of racial history with campus and a lot of racial tension as a result of that history. So, I mean, it's only important to talk about those things that happen here so that those people will think differently when they're attempting to throw something out of the window.
And with race relations a hot topic on the 40 acres, UT student government plans to reaffirm its support for race being a factor in the university's admissions process. HG Administrative Director Joshua Tang introduced legislation last week in response to the Supreme Court's decision earlier this year in the Fisher versus UT case. The Supreme Court sent the case back down to the lower court for further consideration. Tang said it's important for the legislation to pass as the new round of student leaders was recently elected.
It's important that each session of student government recommit support to the university's use of race in admissions, especially as our university continues to go through the federal court system.
HG will vote on the legislation tomorrow.
Well, there's been a lot of buzz lately about new apartment blocks in West Campus, and Callaway House is no exception. But not all of the buzz has been positive.
Priscilla Patterson joins us live in the studio with the breakdown of the story.
That's right, Cassandra. The Callaway House is a new freshman dorm at the corner of 22nd and San Antonio. Their website boasts an all-inclusive living experience, an environment conducive to academic achievement, and best-in-class accommodations. But the new dorm has come under a lot of heat lately in regards to its treatment of workers.
Beautiful views, a state-of-the-art workout facility, and a pool that is comparable to that at a resort is what makes the Callaway House the jewel of West Campus life.
As mentioned, seen right behind me is the Callaway House. For many residents, this is a luxurious oasis away from the busy UT life. But for many construction workers this past summer, luxurious was never an option they had.
Estaban arriesgando sus vidas. Todos los días trabajando en el sol.
The workers at Callaway were risking their lives day in and day out working under the sun. Working 60 to 70 hours a week, sometimes not receiving a paycheck. The construction workers at the Callaway House said the management treated them like animals. The working conditions made the already taxing labor that much harder. Andres Hernandez says, "It pained me to work there because we weren't getting paid." Patricia Zavala, Workplace Justice Coordinator, explains that immigration laws are not as they seem.
If you have papers or don't, it doesn't matter. The laws apply to you equally, and you have the right to get minimum wage and overtime and to be fairly compensated for your work.
Filmon Salas, another unpaid construction worker on the Callaway House project, had this to say. Managers weren't paying us. We have to take care of our family and kids, and it's not good to not be paid.
Well, the story was first broke by the New York Times. Going a little more in depth on this now, we reached out to the American Campus Communities, the owner of the Callaway House. They wouldn't talk to us on camera, but did offer a written statement saying, "While we do believe the New York Times article accurately depicts the situation and acknowledges our immediate resolution, we do not believe we have been accurately portrayed by the Workers' Defense Project Communications. However, we do respect the role they played in bringing the matter to our attention to foster resolution." Now, the workers claim that $59,000 worth of pay was withheld from them. That money has now been released. Live in studio, Priscilla Patterson, KVR News.
We continue to see shocking video out of Colorado as massive flooding hits the area. At least 7 people have been confirmed dead and more than 650 remain unaccounted for after a week of torrential rains in and around the Denver metro area. Nearly 12,000 people have been evacuated from their homes as some communities have been cut off due to washed out roads, bridges, and communication lines. More storms are possible in the area once again on Tuesday. The Texas Giant has reopened nearly 2 months after a woman fell from the roller coaster to her death. Six Flags Over Texas reopened the ride on Saturday with several new improvements. The ride now has seatbelts and a redesigned lap bar restraint, as well as a new test seat at the front of the line. The theme park is currently locked in a lawsuit with the family of victim Rosie Esparza. The 2009 Fort Hood shooting could soon be labeled as an act of terror. U.S. Senators John Cornyn and Ted Cruz introduced the Honoring the Fort Hood Heroes Act on Thursday. The bill was introduced in honor of the 13 killed and 30 injured when Major Nidan Hassan opened fire on the military base in November 2009. The bill would provide more benefits for victims and their families, including life insurance, tax breaks for death in combat, and other combat-related compensation.
Saturday marked the 1-year anniversary of the bomb threat at UT. A man called claiming to be with Al-Qaeda, saying he had placed bombs all over campus. The university faced criticism for the way it handled the evacuation, only telling students to leave campus 15 minutes before the bombs were supposed to detonate. With the anniversary, KVR News spoke to students about safety on campus.
I feel pretty safe. I think those are just like anomalies and nothing really ever happens, I think, other than that. So I feel pretty safe.
I feel pretty safe on campus. I think UTPD does a pretty good job. The bomb threat last year, there were some communication issues, but it sounds like they're trying to get them resolved.
Safe. Very safe. I'm not too concerned. The Navy shooting today is a bit disconcerting, but I'm more sorrowful than concerned.
Cap Metro considers closing UT shuttle routes, how you could be affected.
Plus, what new restaurant will be soon popping up on MLK? Stay tuned for more KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Students who take UT shuttle buses to campus could soon face a cut in routes. Cap Metro is considering eliminating 2 routes, Wickersham Lane and Cameron Road. Those have the lowest ridership. The agency says they are aimed at improving service and increasing efficiency. A public forum was held earlier today to discuss the proposed changes. If approved, the changes would take effect next semester. A major hurdle has been cleared in the development of UT's Engineering Education and Research Center. The UT System Board of Regents approved more than $300 million for the new building. It's set to replace the current 50-year-old Engineering Science Building. The new building will allow the engineering program to expand to 1,000 students, as well as increase the number of faculty members within the program.
Flicking through the pages of a book at the library could soon be a thing of the past. The nation's first digital library opened in San Antonio on Saturday. The Bexar County Digital Library has replaced books with e-readers and librarians with techies. The bibliothèque is equipped with iPads, iMac desktops, 4 interactive touchscreen tables, and an Xbox gaming system. The library was built with nearly $2 million in taxpayer money, as well as $500,000 in private donations.
Shareholders have approved a $24.8 billion offer to make Dell a private company. The move ends Dell's status as a publicly held company. Dell has been hit hard by the continued shift away from traditional desktops towards tablets and mobile devices. CEO Michael Dell says he believes the move will help turn the company around, but might leave earnings suffering for another year or 2.
Deciding between a chicken sandwich and chicken tenders will soon be a tough decision for UT students. Popular chain Raising Cane's will be opening just down the road from Chick-fil-A. The new restaurant will open on the corner of MLK and San Antonio on the site of the former Wendy's, which closed in summer of 2012. Construction began this summer and the restaurant is scheduled to open in December. And fast food empire McDonald's is turning to technology. The company is testing a mobile app that allows customers to order and pay for their food from their cell phone. McDonald's is hoping to attract a younger generation of customers that tend to not pay in cash. The company already has a mobile app that allows customers to locate restaurants and find nutritional information. But the new app also includes special promotions and offers a loyalty program. The app is being tested right here in Austin along with Salt Lake City.
One of Texas's largest nonprofit organizations has found a new permanent home here in Austin. Special Olympics Texas provides people with special needs and intellectual disabilities an opportunity to engage in athletic training and competitions throughout the state. The organization recently broke ground on their new state-of-the-art facility.
It's a legacy. Each nonprofit that exists in the United States, you always think about, what the legacy is going to be in 5 years.
Special Olympics Texas says they plan to move into the new facility in 2015.
Up next, Tropical Storm Ingrid makes landfall in Mexico.
And how the storm could affect the weather right here in Central Texas.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
Central Mexico faces severe flooding as 2 tropical storm systems hit opposite sides of the country. Tropical Storm Ingrid battered the country's Gulf Coast today, while the remnants of Tropical Storm Manuel lashed the Pacific coast. Federal authorities said flooding and landslides have killed at least 40 people. The Mexican government said the country has not seen a similar weather crisis since 1958, when the country was hit by 2 tropical storms on separate coasts.
Here in Central Texas, we could be seeing some of the moisture left over from Ingrid.
Joanna Lyles is live in the studio for updates on the weather.
Thanks, Cassandra. Well, Tropical Storm Ingrid did make landfall early this morning and continues to move inland over Mexico, spreading northward. That could bring widely scattered showers to Central Texas over the next couple of days. Tonight, we can expect cloudy skies with an overnight low of about 76 degrees. It looks like it's going to be mostly cloudy, rainy throughout the week thanks to the remnants of Ingrid. With temperatures in the low to mid-90s, overnight temperatures look like they will remain in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, we will be expecting isolated showers and thunderstorms with a 20% chance of rain after 8 a.m. On Wednesday, we will see a little bit of a change as we have partly sunny skies with a high near 95 degrees and a low of 75. However, while it will be partly sunny, do expect a slight 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms during the day and evening as well. By Thursday and Friday, we can expect to see a little more rain. Thursday has a 40% chance. Make sure to have an umbrella on hand because by Friday and Saturday, there will be a 50% chance of rain. The rain chances continue into Sunday with a 20% chance throughout the day and evening. Well, it's nice to finally see some rain making its way to Austin after such a hot and dry summer. It looks like this rain will make temperatures cooler and even more comfortable. Just remember to have an umbrella handy over the next few days. Live in the Weather Center, Joanna Lyles, KVR News.
Thank you, Joanna. After the break, a recap of Saturday's game against Ole Miss.
Stay tuned, you're watching KVR News.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome back to KVR News. We're here in studio with College Press Box's Renee Moreno with the latest on Longhorn sports.
Thanks, Cassandra. Jared Elliott has achieved another notable accomplishment as the Texas volleyball head coach. Adding to his recent 2012 NCAA National Championship and his 2012 AVCA Coach of the Year title, Elliott has sealed his 300th win on Saturday when the Longhorns defeated Illinois 3-2. Junior All-American Haley Eckerman led the team with 23 kills and Bailey Webster recorded 17 kills. With the volleyball team had success on the road, the football team struggled at home. The Longhorns took on number 25 Ole Miss on Saturday. Let's go out to DKR for the highlights. Here we have UT basketball alum Kevin Durant joining the 100,000 plus in attendance on Saturday. And Ole Miss, first drive, they got to the 5-yard line, and there's quarterback Bo Wallace handing it up to Jeff Scott, who scored a 5-yard touchdown for Ole Miss to take an early 7-0 lead. And then on their second drive of the game, Ole Miss is on the 18, and Wallace's pass to Dante Moncrief, 18 yards for a touchdown, and the Texas defense has now given up 14 points in the first 8 minutes of play. Texas finally setting up in the red zone late in the first, and Case McCoy with a pass to Mike Davis for a 13-yard touchdown, and Texas is trying to rally here, bringing the score to 14-7. Ole Miss drives down the field again, this time in the second, but Texas defense and Cedric Reed were not going to let that happen. He bats down the pass for let Texas try and take over, and that was a Case McCoy to Jonathan Gray pass for another touchdown, and Texas now takes a 17-14 lead. And then we have the Texas defense trying to make a stop before the half, and a phenomenal tackle right here by Jackson Jeffcoat will force an incomplete pass and let Texas go into the half up 23-17 after a field goal by Farah. Early in the third quarter, not quite such a good story. Case McCoy with a pass here that is almost intercepted, and, you know, Texas just not looking too good. Here on the Texas 15, Bo Wallace fakes the handoff, and our cameraman spins in for a touchdown, and the Ole Miss regains a 24-23 lead after that 8-yard drive right there. Still in the third quarter, Ole Miss yet again in their red zone, and Wallace has a toss to Engelman for a 17-yard touchdown, and Ole Miss is silencing the crowd with a 31-23 lead. You know, Case McCoy fumbled the ball right there. Mike Mary from Ole Miss recovered that, and Texas is just looking defeated at this point in the game. Texas defense struggles one more time, and that is Walton with an 8-yard rush up the side, and Texas loses 44-23, scoring absolutely no points in the fourth quarter.
So Renee, with Mac Brown being booed by fans in the first half, I have to ask, is his job as head coach safe?
Definitely for this season, he'll be fine. He's such like a name towards the program. They're not going to get rid of him in the middle of the season. If they get rid of him this year, it'll be after a nice ushering out. But because of that, he has the protection of one season, the rest of the season. So maybe if he can turn it around, he'll get to stay a little bit longer.
All right, thanks Renee. Up next, we have the latest on entertainment with Chelsey Peña. Chelsey, what's on the radar?
Controversy surrounding the Miss America winner and a popular singer boycotting the Winter Olympics. Find out why when we come back.
You're watching KBR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Miss New York!
Miss New York, Nina Davalori, was crowned Miss America at last night's pageant. She's the first Indian American and second Asian American to win the title. Her crowning sparked controversy online, with many posting racist comments implying that Davalori does not truly represent America. In her first public appearance with her new title, she addressed the comments by saying she's happy that the organization has embraced diversity and thankful that the children watching can now relate to Miss America. Popular host of The Talk, Julie Chen, has revealed that she has had plastic surgery to advance her broadcast career. Chen disclosed that she underwent eye surgery after being told that she wouldn't sit at the anchor desk because of her Asian eyes. The procedure trimmed down excess skin found above the eyelids, and she said it did help her get jobs. Despite the surgery, Chen says that she is still extremely proud of her Chinese heritage. Singer Cher has turned down an offer to open the show at the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia, because of the country's recently enforced anti-gay law. The law hits close to home for Cher, as her son Chaz Bono is gay. Russia made it illegal to provide information about homosexuality to people under the age of 18 in an effort to curtail what the government believes is propaganda on non-traditional sexual relations. Other actors are also boycotting the upcoming Olympic Games, including George Takei and Stephen Fry. That's all we have for your entertainment news. Let's toss it back to the anchor desk.
Thank you, Chelsey, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cassandra Jaramillo.
And I'm Leslie Adami. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News. Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Have a good night.